What is up, everybody? Bopalopagus here at Camp Sekani Disc Golf Course, and we're going to be playing an 18-hole scoring round today. Let's get into it. First up here, we have a 357-foot par 3, and we're going to be going with our bolt off the tee, try to get it up and over those bushes on the left there, and flex it back to the right. And we get a pretty good shot, but we kick off that tree right in the middle there, and kick a little bit off to the left, but we do have a look up here. Gonna go patent pending with the A4, losing bounce a little bit, and we're just gonna try to get it up to the basket. And we get a nice little dink off the pole there, and we'll have a tap in par for the first hole. And we're on to hole 2 now. We have a 232-foot par 3 straight up the hill. Going to be going with our ozone here. And it just slips out early, kicks up a bunch of pine cones, and we hopefully will have a look up for the par. This hole isn't too hard, so should have something here. Going to go backwards with the Pathfinder here. And it's just super low, awkward with the tree and the awkward pose. But we'll have about a 40-footer for a par here. And we just don't give it the height or the power, off to the right a little bit as well. But we'll have a tap in for the bogey, and it will be 1 over through 2. And hole 3 is a 245-foot par 3 straight up there, and we're going to try to go with our trail here, and just slips out early again. And luckily we have an opening to the basket here. We're going to go forehand around these trees to the right and just try to turn it over towards the basket. And it was looking pretty good. Kicks off a tree, but we should have about a 25-footer for par. And we just miss it. A little bit awkward there. Standing in the bush, got to straddle out, but it's a makeable putt. And we tap in our bogey to go 2 over through 3. And we're on the hole 4, which is a 359-foot par 3, straight down the hill there. Pretty tight gap through the middle there, trying to flex it through a little bit. And we miss left, but we get through a different gap. And we're just going to fade out too early because we missed our gap. But we have about 100 feet into the basket here. And we're just going to go with our A4 again and go with the turnover and just try to set it down next to the basket. And it's just a little bit too high, not enough flex, and it flexes out early. And we land in a bush, but we have about a 15-footer for the par. Just a little bit awkward, got to straddle on top of that little stump there. And we just floated up, hit the band, tap in bogey to go 3 over through 4. And next up is hole 5. We have a 366-foot par 3, plays pretty downhill, basket straight ahead. Gonna go hyzer flip with a meteor, and we absolutely yank it. Luckily it actually hits a gap, stays pretty straight, and we have about a 25-footer again, but this time for birdie. Try to convert. Good bid, just high. Have a little bit of a comebacker here though, about 15-footer for par. And we're able to convert on that one. On to hole 6 now. We have a 350-foot par 3 straight ahead down the hill. Gonna go with our Pathfinder, and we yank it this time. Luckily we kick back left into the fairway, rolls a little bit, so we're gonna have a little bit of an awkward look, but we should have a line. Gonna go forehand with the A4 here and just try to turn it over again, get it next to the basket. And this time we go too low, and we actually turn it into a roller. Gets up there behind a log, and we're still about 100 feet out, so not a great shot there. Gonna try to putt this one, a little bit of a turnover. Just put it up, let it pan out, hopefully into the basket, but at least get it close. And it looks pretty good, but it's just way too deep. But we have about a 10-footer here for another bogey. And we put that one just low, bounces off the cage and does not go into the basket. So we're going to be 6 over through 6 now. And we're going to have to try to turn this around. Going to go with the trail here, try to get it up the gut. 375 feet, but it plays a little bit uphill. It's closer to probably like 400, and it's just a tight gap. Doesn't seem like it, but it's tough when you get up there. Going with the A4, get a little bit lucky there, trying to go to the left of those trees, and it trickles down the hill a little bit, but we'll have about a 30-footer to save a par after that pretty bad drive. And it's just a little bit off to the right side. Chain out, tap in the bogey. And we are now 7 over through 7, 1 par, 1 double. Gonna go trail again, and we get super unlucky with that middle tree. 338 foot par 3. And we're gonna try to save a par here with our A4 and just try to get up that middle gap and hopefully get it close. And it's just not the power we need, too low as well. Turns into a cut roller. Gonna go pad and pending here to the left side with the A4 again. And this one we are able to putt close, get a lucky kick off that tree. Would have been a little bit of a tester if we didn't, but 8 over through 8 now, and on to hole 9, 271 foot par 3. Trying to go up that right gap, but it just comes out early and skips way left. Gonna be a tough look from here. Bunch of bushes over here. You really want to be in the middle or on that right side, but we're gonna go A4, try to get it up the little gap there, and we just pull it off. Rolls down onto the bike trail, and we're gonna have about 100 feet in still, and still an awkward gap. We're just gonna go try to flick it up with a A4 here, see if we can get it close. And we actually catch it in the basket, save a par, first one in a while. On to hole 10, 310 feet, gonna go Pathfinder, and we finally get a good drive. Make sure to take our time here, tap in the birdie, capitalize on our good drive. And instead we put it high, and that one did not feel good. That one was a get back hole, and we threw away our opportunity, but tap in our par, move on to hole 11. 284 foot par 3. Gonna go with our Champion Gummy Wraith here and just try to get it up that right side and let it flex back to the left towards the basket. And it's a pretty good shot. It's just low, catches a bush, but have about 120 feet in here. Gonna go with the A4 and just try to put it close. And obviously meant to do that for speed control purposes. Gonna give it a full shot into the bush and just let it fight through. Got about a 10-footer left for par. And we're able to make that one. It's that easy, huh? Hole 12 is 300 feet up the hill, and we're gonna go bolt, and we just don't give it any hyzer. It comes out flat. Pretty good shot though, and we have about 120 in again. Gonna go forehand A4. Awkward shot in the bushes, but we should be able to get it close. And it's decent. If it doesn't hit the tree, it's gonna be a little bit long. Hits the tree, we're a little bit short. Got about 15 feet. Awkward stance up the hill, but we should be able to tap this one in. But we just keep it high, bounce out, and we'll have another bogey. And I believe we are now 11 over through 12. And we're going to go on to hole 13, 234 foot par 3. Trying to flex it to the left of the big trees, and we just don't give it any at all. And that's a pretty overstable disc, so we end up flattening out to that left side. But we have a pitch up to the basket here, going with the A4. And pretty unlucky roll. Rolls backwards a little bit, have about 20 feet here, and it's a bit of a death putt. You can easily trickle down the hill there if you putt it over. And instead we leave it left side. Have another comebacker about 15 feet, this time up the hill. And we pull that one right side, so we'll have a tap in for the double on a pretty easy hole, and I believe that puts us at 13 through 13. And we're on to hole 14, and it's just straight down the hill. Gonna go with the A4. There's not really a gap, you kind of just have to get lucky, and we get extremely unlucky. If we're a foot left, it's a perfect shot, but we double kick, so we're at least in the middle. Just gonna pitch it up here with the putter. And we yank it a little bit, but it slides up pretty nicely, and we'll have a tap in for the par. And we're on the hole 15 now, 262 feet, a little awkward, it's a little bit uphill off the tee. Go with the Voss, slips out of our hand early. And it's a pretty tough shot from there, forehand, maybe about 200 feet, but it's on a pretty steep hill right behind that big tree on the right side of your screen. And we're going to go with our forehand A4. Try to turn it over, and we just, again, don't turn it enough. And it's off screen there. It's just off to the right side, standing right in a bunch of rocks. And it's a little bit of a death putt. Easily slide away here. Probably just outside a circle. And we just don't think about that one too much. Just went quick, make a good putt. And we're going with our trail here. And it's 262 feet up onto that bridge, and we actually almost aced the last basket. And we're scrambling now. Gonna go with our Pathfinder, try to get a forehand and turn it back over the hill into the fairway. And it just comes out early. Hit a tree, kick down, and we're gonna go pretty much the same shot here, but with the A4 this time. And we landed in the middle of this bush, so it's super awkward to get to, but we're gonna give it a shot. See what we can make from this. And we at least get back into the fairway this time, but we're still off to that right side, and we don't really have a great look up, so we're just gonna pitch it up, take our double. Hole 17 now, 559 foot par 4, and we're going with the bolt again, trying to go through that left gap, but we yank it over and it turns into another roller, and we actually get through that first tree, kind of lose it, but we get stuck up on this tree, and we don't really have a great look into the basket. It's straight left of that bench, you can see, and we're going to go with a forehand meteor and just try to keep it on hyzer and let it flip up to flat and hopefully glide next to the basket. It's actually a pretty good shot. Fades out a little bit early, kicks that tree, and you can't see, but it actually rolls all the way down here to almost the hole 3. And we have a pretty awkward look up here. We're just going to putt it up and take our par. Really shoddy camera work, but get it close and we'll have a tap in for the par. And hole 18, 333 foot, put it straight down the hill. Gonna go A4 forehand, and we turn it over this time, and it comes up way short, and we'll have about 150 into the basket. Gonna pitch up our putter, just try to keep it close, take a par for the way out. And it doesn't look very good, but we're able to keep it close, get some good ground play. Tap in about a 10-footer. I believe that was about 15, 16 over, so not a great round, but we'll be back at it again. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching, and bop off.